Hola a todos, Michelle. Estoy aquí con un otro video. I just want to do an update. I haven't done an update video in a while. I'm currently at 1,038 hours. I'm proud of myself and really just staying focused. I kind of like ending 2025. My focus was I want to get to 1,000. I want to get to 1,000 because I feel like there was these hills and valleys that I was going through just with like work and other things and really wanting to put the time in. It's almost like I need to refocus myself in order to like say, focus in, use my time to get input. Um, Through that time though, what something that I noticed is I was wanting more Spanish content, particularly not necessarily Dreaming Spanish. And one of the things that I actually wrote into Dreaming Spanish about was asking them if they had an app versus to use on Roku, because it's a lot easier for me because they so I have so many great videos and topics that a lot of the times I feel like I have to pay attention and I want to watch it on a phone because of just the things they're talking about and how they interact with each other when they're doing videos together. But sometimes I don't want to watch on my phone. My screen is small. And so I asked if they had an app for Roku or anything like that. They said no. So I made the decision to leave the subscription, the premium subscription with Dreamy Spanish, and I decided to get VIX, the VIX subscription. I know I've talked about that in the past, but VIX is, I don't know, it's like a Roku but in Spanish in my opinion because they have light TV, you can do novelas, películas, all kinds of things. And so I really enjoy that, having the content and being able to see it on a bigger screen. So that is really helpful for me in terms of like how I want to view content. Now, and then at the end of 2025, they had a deal going on in terms of the pricing for VIX. And so it actually ended up not, I was able to save. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to go with something different and get more content and a different form of content in per se. I still use my Dreaming Spanish app when I'm driving. What I appreciate now is they do have the podcast that they have, which I enjoy. And now my focus is like, okay, when I watch something, it's going to be on a bigger screen, like the size of a TV. So I'm willing to now listen only to their content, even if it's not in podcast form, and continue to get the input. So I do that normally when I'm driving. I'll listen to Dreaming Spanish. Another app that I've started to listen to more, a podcast I started listening to more, is Had a Spanish Podcast. And obviously, because that's a podcast, and I could just continue playing and I just continue to get input. So if like I'm cleaning around the house, things like that, it's a really good way for me to get input. Also, with Dreaming Spanish, I've now set the filter to advanced videos only because I do feel that sometimes the intermediate content can be a little slow for me. And what I'm really trying to do right now is to pick up the language in its natural form and to hear it at a normal speed as what a native speaker would speak at, to tune my ear to that as well. So I've been doing lots of that with VIX. I've been watching a lot of soccer. That's not usually a sport I watch, but I've gotten into it. I have to say that. And even with on YouTube, I've been watching more soccer because I do enjoy watching sports, but I'm not going to get a lot of like, for me, my sport is basketball that I love to watch. And in terms of and women's basketball at that. So in terms of getting that content in Spanish, it's not easy. I don't find a lot of it, but I know I'm going to find soccer for sure. So I've been watching more soccer documentaries, things that I can find on YouTube. One thing that I do want to start is reading more. And so I'm going to see how that also adds into my growth and continuing to acquire the language is inputting reading. So I'm going to start my first book, Caroline, and I'm going to have the audio book too as well. So I'm going to have the audio as I go through it in terms of helping me that way as well. And I do have Preply. I have a Spanish tutor that I use 3 times a week, and we meet 3 times a week. That works for my schedule, and our classes are all in Spanish, and he's been really helpful. But yeah, let's see where this goes. My goal here is to practice more in speaking. That's really the intention here. My goal along my journey as to where I'm at is got to practice speaking, got to practice speaking. So I'm also, this is my goal. is to choose a random topic, 30 minutes, speak, record myself, rewatch the video, and see, are there words that I didn't know, phrases that I didn't say properly, things like that to help me as well. So that is my update as to where I am right now. I'll keep you posted, and my intention is to be consistent and just to keep going. And that is always my advice to myself and to anybody else, no matter what it is, if it's language, acquiring a language or whatever it may be, is to keep going, to keep going, to keep going. Even when I fall off, my goal is to get back on. I can't do anything about what I didn't do in the past. I can always only look to how can I take my next step? What's the next moment that I can do to be better, to commit to something different, to commit to my actions, really. My actions is the commitment that I want to put forth. And so really that is my commitment is in my actions right now. My intention is in my actions to continue moving forward. It is April 5th of 2026. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I have been making progress. I recently did a short on, someone speaking Spanish. I didn't know they were speaking to me until they mentioned a word. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get a little nervous, like, ooh, don't go too fast for me. And are you trying to have a whole conversation? So, but other than that, I'm seeing my growth and I'm proud of myself at the same time. Let me know how y'all are doing on your journey. I look forward to hearing from you and continue to go and continue to move forward. Until next time, ciao.